ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। परमानंद माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। This will not move. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। By regularly hearing the Bhagavatam and rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is practically destroyed, and loving service unto the glorious Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki. So today we'll start with word meanings, a little bit difficult ones. What is coming now? All this time? Huh? There is some problem. So you are not reading this at all, huh? Some issue today with the... No, there is all the lag this while, huh? Try connecting the wire. Because there is a lot of text. I thought you were reading there. There is a lot of other slides. It never happened like this, no?
Wait, it's coming now.
It's coming? थोड़ा सा इसको पीछे कर देना प्रभु ताकि मुझे भी दिखता रहे।
सोर्स चेंज करें इसमें वो पड़ा होगा उसका there will be a number of HDMI but to people to see you have to
The HDMI he knows well. It's connected well. Sometimes the HDMI stops working. कर दो वायरलेस फिर से प्रभु
वो पीपीटी खोल के प्रभु वायरलेस वाला डायरेक्ट वही डिस्प्ले
क्या पॉस्ट यूट्यूब रोक दिया ना
पॉज कर दे पॉज
हरे कृष्ण
आ रहे
आगे
नहीं लेकिन इसके बाद रिस्टार्ट नहीं होगी
नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे जाओ कमिंग टू नेक्स्ट स्लाइड इज गोइंग थैंक यू सो मच हरे कृष्णा now you can start Prabhu YouTube you can start Hare Krishna so today we are going to discuss this verse from first canto third chapter 15th verse. Let's look at the word meanings first so we'll be able to relate to the verse more. Please repeat with me. Rupam, form, sah, he, jagrihe, accepted, matsyam, of a fish, chakshush, udadhi, water, samplave, inundation, navi, on the boat, aropya, keeping on, mahi, the earth, mayam, drowned in, apat, protected, vavaswatam, vavaswat, manum, Manu, the father of man. Rupam sajagridhe matsyam chakshushodadhi samplave navi aropya mahimayam apad vavashvatam manum. When there was a complete inundation after the period of Chakshush Manu and the whole world was deep within water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vavasvat Manu, keeping him up on a boat. So we are going to, this is in the introductory chapters, initial part of the first canto. It is just little bit description is given of the Matsya avatar of the Lord. So during this complete inundation, this was the time when Lord took the form of Matsya avatar, not only to protect his devotees but also to save the Vedas. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, according to Shripad Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after the change of every Manu. And yet, this inundation after the period of Chakshush Manu took place in order to show some wonders to Satyavrata. But Sri Jiva Goswami has given definite proofs from authoritative scriptures like Vishnu Dharmottara, Markandeya Purana, Harivansh, etc., that there is always a devastation after the end of each and every Manu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has also supported Srila Jiva Goswami, and he, Sri Chakravarti, has also quoted from Bhagavatamrita about this inundation after each Manu. Apart from this, the Lord, in order to show special favor to Satyavrata, a devotee of the Lord in this particular avatara, has in this particular period incarnated himself as Matsya Avatara. Shri Matsya Avatara ki Jai. So in this chapter so far, we have been briefly looking at all the various incarnations of the Lord, and this is where, when you go in detail, this is where the 8th chapter, the 8th canto ends. This is the last chapter of 8th canto of description of these incarnations, and a very beautiful form of the Lord as Matsya or fish is there. So you can see amongst them, this is the golden fish with a big horn. So there is a beautiful story behind it. There was a very, very devoted king called Satyavrata. So he was undergoing severe austerities. He was surviving just on water. And while he was praying on the river, and with Anjali, one small fish came, and when along with water. And when King Satyavrata put it back on the water, this small fish told the king, "O king, you are so merciful, but why are you putting me in the water again? Because here the fish eat, big fish eat small fish, right? So I am always in danger. So please give me shelter and save me." So already you find something strange here. No, fish is talking, yes, that is one, right? But those were times when it was, if some fish talks, nobody will think it's Lord, because so many yogis were there everywhere, right? What other thing? A fish who would anyways love to be in water, given all the dangers, will never ask to be rescued from water. This is very similar to, will we in that position ever say, with all the dangers to us, would we say that take us out of here? No, because we are bound by our own karma with Maya. So see, already this fish is showing some signs, some vairagya. Take me out of here. So the king says, okay. And king doesn't know that who this fish is, but out of mercy, because he was a devotee, and devotees are very merciful, the king put it back in his vessel and took the small fish back to his palace. And there the fish started growing. Okay. So his kamandalu became too small for it. So the king started speaking again. Okay, you think it's too small for me? Put me in a bigger container. So the king Satyavrata put it in a big pot, but and happily slept. In the morning when he woke, then this overnight the fish has grown so big that even that big pot was small for her. So the fish said, though, see, I am again uncomfortable. Okay, see again one more feature. More mercy you are showing, more service you are showing, more expectation of service from you. So you're guessing who this fish is? Who does like this? Krishna does with devotees. When he sees, oh, they have potential to become even more serious devotees, so he'll increase the targets every year, 6,000, 6,500, right? Right? So already this fish is showing signs of Krishna. Then king, started increasing the size of the pot. It didn't help. Then he put the fish in the lake. Then again, very, very big lake, and that big lake also became small for that fish because it started expanding again. Then the king finally took the fish to the sea. Okay. But then the fish said, "Oh Maharaj, you have so mercifully given me shelter, but it's back to where we started. You picked me from a place where there was small danger of big fish. But now you are putting me in sea where there are shark and big crocodiles. They will eat me away." Then the king understood, right? Who is playing the game with me? Who is the biggest gamer who plays biggest games with the devotees? Krishna. So he bowed down and he understood who you. This is the king Satyavrata. And as he picks up the small fish, thinking, this is just a small service I'll do. Again it stopped, but I think let's leave it. There was very nice visuals. No, I'm changing so many times. It's stuck at the fish, right? So there were very nice visuals to this.
Let's escape and again go to presentation mode.
Now all that is happening in my laptop, not there. Hang, it's getting hang. But anyways, so let Prabhuji do some engineering. So then he bowed down to the Lord that there is only one person who has got such powers and also only one person who plays such games with the devotees. You are the Lord. Now you tell me, Lord, the Supreme Lord, tell me what is the purpose that you have incarnated as fish. But before that, before this whole story started, King Parikshit is asking Shukdev Muni that, why did Lord take the form of Matsya, fish? Now fish is a lower species, right? Not a very, very glorious species. So why did the Lord take the form of a fish? Shukdev Goswami says that for Lord is not impacted by the modes of nature. So whatever form he takes, even if he takes the form of a species which is in the mode of passion or mode of ignorance, Lord is not impacted. But he takes these incarnations for specific purpose. Okay, and there was a purpose this time. The operation where Lord was going was deep in water. That is why the Lord took the form of a fish. And now the Lord is revealing to his devotee Satyavrata that why I have taken this form of a fish. Okay, and then he says that just 7 days from now all the three worlds will be inundated by water because Lord Brahma is feeling sleepy. Okay, so and just 7 days. So what does 7 days remind you? Prabhupada has given lot of references to our life here. So what does 7 days remind you of?
Go back to Lord.
Just 7 days, Prabhu. Parikshit Maharaj one. Then our cycle, Sunday feast to Sunday feast. Right? 7 days is a very important time. So normally Our feeling is, oh, we have infinite time. Next year I'll start next canto. Next year I'll do Chaitanya Charitamrita. Next year I'll have some funds and I'll retire and become full timer. Next year I'll go to Yatra. But Lord is saying, let's quantify it. Let's keep it to a week, right? Also, this week when Sunday to Sunday feast we come here, we go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Where our bhakti level also fluctuates and our work also fluctuates, more meetings this day and so on. We have to traverse through all these days of heavy meetings or heavy stress and all, and behave as if this was the 1 week. Right? Can't say Monday I am feeling blues, let's start Tuesday, right? Because it's just 7 days. So Lord says in 7 days time there will be inundation and all 3 worlds will be immersed in water. Now I have shown you my big fish form, again I'll come after 7 days. Okay? You be ready. In 7 days, before I come, I'll send a huge boat. In that boat, you put my devotees, Saptarishi. Okay, because there will be all storm and heavy rains, right? So it will be all dark. So who will give the light in the boat? Saptarishis will give light. And all the species, okay, all the species you load onto that huge boat. Okay? And when there will be huge storm and the boat will be shaking in the ocean, then I'll come as a huge giant fish, but with a big horn on my head. What is the horn for? Yes. Otherwise, how will the fish save the boat? So, with Vasuki, okay, Vasuki Nag, you with the snake, you tie that horn to that boat, and then I'll save you. Okay, and then Satyavrata is very, very happy that Lord Himself has come to save us, and he prepares that way, and in exactly 7 days that huge rain and storm start, and that giant boat comes, and he loads Saptarishi and all other species, takes grains, okay, and everything onto that boat and gets onto that boat, and when the boat starts shaking in that storm, Lord appears again as Matsya Avatara ki Jai, and with the large horn they tie the boat with Vasuki Nag. So Prabhupada says here that in the same way we also have to tie ourselves to the Guru, and this is the way, and always stay tied. Only then Krishna will be able to save us. Now what happens after that? After that, the Lord along with Saptarishis is going in the ocean, and the fish is pulling there, and Saptarishis say to the Lord, say to the king, that king, start praying to the Lord with all your heart, he only can save us. And then the king also starts praying, and the Lord speaks to them. Okay, such nice association of the Lord for just 1 night. Not very fortunate, right? Satyavrata is getting association of the Lord along with Saptarishi just for 1 night and hears from the Lord. But that night was Brahma's night. Quite a long night, right? So, such fortunate was Satyavrata the devotee, and there the Lord tells the Sankhya Yoga, the yoga of bhakti, to all the entire audience of Saptarishis and to the king, okay, bhakti yoga. And that particular discussion itself is one great learning. And before that itself, when the Lord appears and Satyavrata starts glorifying the Lord, it's explained beautifully in 8th canto, chapter 24, when the king says that, Lord, people are too busy in Maya. They are trying to be happy, and in their endeavor to be happy in this material world, that is their binding. That is where they are getting bound by their own karma. So tell us how we can get out of this maya, this particular the where we are bound, and that is where the Lord gives that knowledge to to the king and Saptarshis. So that whole it's all stormy, it's all very very tough outside, but where the Lord is giving this this advice to the king. Just imagine what will be the fortune, good fortune of the king, right? So this whole discussion is itself a Purana. It's called Matsya Purana. Okay, this whole discussion which goes on throughout the Brahma's night, and when it was time for Brahma to wake up, the Lord goes and kills the demon who had stolen these Vedas and brings that back and gives it to Brahma. So when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I incarnate again and again to save my devotees and to destroy the miscreants, this is one of the great examples, right? In one form, Lord is saving the Vedas and then saving the devotees, and so merciful that suddenly he appears and shows his various leelas to Satyavrata, and in the end gives him the perfect knowledge. So there is so many learnings in this small story. That is how Bhagavatam proceeds, story after story after story. But these discussions that happen during these stories, they are the heart-touching ones. Here you can see how dear are the Vedas to the Lord, right? This is the way we can connect with the Lord. To save these Vedas, Lord comes himself. That is why when we say Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but the Lord himself in the literary form, this is what we mean, right? So if we want to be safe, let's keep Srimad Bhagavatam at home. So if some demon comes to steal it, who will come to save Srimad Bhagavatam and us along with that? Lord himself will come, or will send some devotee of him. So it relates to the current initiative going on book distribution. So this is what we should tell people. when people say, oh, I don't have time to read, how will I read Srimad Bhagavatam, big 18 books. So just having Bhagavatam in home and installing Bhagavatam like we do deity installation in our altar, that itself is a very very auspicious thing. But after we have Srimad Bhagavatam at home, the Lord himself will inspire us to read it also. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. So Lord says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. So in every way, if you are trying to endeavor sincerely with all your heart, Lord will guide you also. One Sunday evening, I was reading Bhagavatam. I had to go for a flight, and it was the last flight of the night. Next day I had a meeting, and it was a beautiful chapter. Lord is telling Uddhava that it's that is time for me to close my leelas and leave this world. And it's very very heart touching, how Lord is saying like that, and Uddhava is also prepared for it. Okay, and he's telling Uddhava that after I leave, all adharma will be here. Okay, you don't stay here. Okay, it's like vasiyat people write, for their kids. So like he's telling, hey, this world is going to be very bad. Uddhava, don't stay here. It's very very it suddenly comes this chapter, and you start feeling what is going on. After such beautiful leelas in 10th canto, Lord is suddenly saying he is leaving, right? And I got so lost in reading that I forgot I had a flight. Okay, and then see Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Prabhupada in one of the purport is saying that coming to mode of goodness is not enough. That is just the initial starting. Okay? If you think you have come to mode of goodness, then you will achieve Lord, that is not going to happen. Right? So he gives an example. See the example also, at such a time it comes. He says, if you want to go from New York to London, going to New York airport is just going to the mode of goodness. So you have got into mode of goodness, you have just reached the airport. After that you have to take the flight of Jnana, okay, guided by the pilot to reach the Lord, pilot the Guru to reach the Lord, and only then you will achieve the Lord. Just by reaching airport, if you reach airport and you miss your flight, you are as far away from London as somebody else who didn't go to the New York airport in the first place. I said, what a beautiful example on mode of goodness. Then I remembered something. And I closed Bhagavatam and where are my clothes? And sir, I just ran, missed my dinner and all, and just rushed and somehow caught my flight. So, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. If you have all your heart in something, Krishna will give us that buddhi which is really required at that particular point of time. So, this is how we should approach the scriptures. That is one big learning in this chapter, that these Vedas are so important. They are not some mere books to be kept in the library. They are so dear to the Lord that to save the Vedas, the Lord incarnated himself. And this is the way we should relate to the scriptures. There is a beautiful book by Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, The Art of Reading and Teaching the Scriptures. There he is talking about how we should establish a relationship with scriptures. We talked about this once earlier, where we are saying, if there is a friend whom I just call once in a while, Happy Diwali, Happy New Year, Happy Janmashtami, that relationship will not be there. But if I really, like someone and I call that person every day, like I have a kid in the hostel, okay? Mataji had the kid in Vrindavan all the way. Can you miss even a single day, talking to him? Every day you'll think, oh, when will 7 p.m. is the time fixed by hostel people? 7 to 8, I'll wait. No, Prabhu? All day I'll wait for that time. That is the relationship we should have with the scriptures, right? You can't just think, okay, once in a while I'll read them and I'll when I feel like, okay, then I'll connect. And the other mind block that we have is that we have lost touch with the books, right? There was a time when we were in a full momentum, like our kids are there. Class test is there, unit test is there, then after 3 months, first term, second term, they are in that flow, okay, of reading. But we have lost that touch, right? When we pick a book, a big book, oh, it's like a mountain, right? But it's just very surface level mind barrier. If you start, I'll give an example. If you learn driving, can you ever forget driving? If you learn swimming, even if you don't swim for 10-15 years and suddenly you are thrown into water, marta kya nahi karta, right? This was the technique they used to have to teach swimming to us. We studied in a Sainik school. So in class 8th, we used to be sent to Pong Dam. There is a dam in Punjab. They used to send us for water sports training. And from class 6 itself, they used to tell there is a Ravan. You will meet Ravan in 8th class. So we met Ravan in Pong Dam. Ravan was the swimming instructor. Okay. So we came to know why he is called Ravan. Okay. He will queue up everybody. He'll say, I'll count till 3. You'll have to jump into the water. This is to remove the fear of water. And water was dam. Okay. 500 feet dam. And he said, nobody has drowned so far. But that doesn't, give you the courage. And he'll count till 3. 1, 2, 3. And the principle of this teaching was, marta kya nahi karta. Okay. So he'll count till 3. Nobody will jump. So everybody will be kicked into water. Then after you start saying, Mummy, Mummy, then somebody will throw a live buoy at you and you will be saved. Right? Now you have learned swimming, 15, 20, 30 years you have never got into water. I mean, jumped into water, into shower obviously, twice every day we have to be. Never jumped into water, suddenly you are thrown into water. Will you forget swimming? Will you drown? No, right? Because you have swam so much, you have learned swimming so much. Now, by this logic, what is that one thing, one skill we have practiced the most in our life, which we can never forget? Even if we forget swimming, even if we forget how to eat or cook or drive, there is one thing we have done the most in this life that we cannot forget. What is that? Reading. For 16, 17 years or at least 15 years, everybody, 15 long years of life, we have done this job full time. We ask this kid anything else, any responsibility you have? No. No cooking, no house chores, these days nothing, right? Or any stress, right? Or playing also as a side thing, but main job is studying with all the stress, all the seriousness. It's not just about failing, but every single mark matters to you. These days, these ma'ams shame kids, You got only 25 out of 30. See, that kid got 27. They are also having their sales targets in front of the principal, right? So you are so much of stress for 15, 16, 17 years of your life. You have done this job full time. So if we think it's too tough to now it's almost done, Prabhu. Thank you so much. But you finished the engineering work very well, huh? Yeah. Yeah, see the pressure of services. Okay, so these were the nice visuals that we had, where this is the Lord in that golden form with the large horn coming to save Satyavrata, right? And when he was helping this fish, when it came to him for the first time, Prabhupada says this is Agyat Sukriti. Agyat Sukriti in the way that he didn't know that this is the Lord. But we do so many things, we don't understand many times, but we are getting Agyat Sukriti. But we should try not to rely so much on Agyat Sukriti. We were doing Agyat Sukriti before we came to ISKCON. Now we should try to get to know what this is all about. For example, going to Yatra obviously will give us some pious credits, right? But if we go with devotees, hear from them the glories of that place, that is where we'll go get out of Agyat Sukriti and we'll actually realize what is the significance of this place. How many of you went to Jagannath Puri this time, this yatra? So many people. Very nice. Hari. So how many remember about Siddha Bakul? Siddha Bakul, you remember? So suppose you go to Siddha Bakul as tourist, we'll click pictures along with the tree, right? You will get only Agyat Sukriti. That also very less. If you go and sit chant there, that also some Agyat Sukriti you will get. Clicking picture will not help. Selfies certainly will not help. So, but when you go with devotees and so passionately, you attended the class there, right? Sudhir Gopal Prabhu was so animated. You feel like, just yesterday it happened, right? Haridas Thakur was chanting here and Lord coming to him, right? And sitting with him. And then when he's leaving his body, Lord, this is the place, Lord lifted him, lifted his body and went around the town begging for last rites of Haridas Thakur. Just imagine the good fortune, imagine the feeling that you get. That is where you get out of Agyat Sukriti, right? It's like you would have got pass marks anyways, even if you went as a tourist, because that is the power of Dham. But when you go with in the association of devotees, that is where Prabhupada talks about Agyat Sukriti here. Here, this king was only getting Agyat Sukriti by saving the fish, right? When this fish came to his hand and he put it in the pot, right? And then when it became so big, and that is where the Lord appeared. Okay, and then he said, make preparations for 1 week here. The preparations are being made, and this is where This giant boat is coming, the golden giant boat, you can see it shining from the distance, is coming to save the Lord, the Saptarshis and all the species. And this is how, with the Vasuki, this boat is tied, and this is where Satyavrata and everyone is receiving the knowledge from the Lord Himself. So we were saying about approaching the scriptures, right? If we just start off, get this out of our head that it's very difficult. Oh, I've left books long ago, right? I can't jump into swimming pool. Oh, I'll drown, right? Once you start, it will attract you so much, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam will attract you so much, you will leave all other work. Because it's sweet stories. It's not very, very, difficult thing. It's not partial differential equations, right? If you remember those two snakes of partial differential equations, Prabhuji will remember, right? It's very, very sweet. And it drowns you into it. Narad Uvach, once you hear Narad Uvach, forget you are going to eat also. Okay? Such sweet things he will say, such touching things he will say, and you will be surprised. Such things are also written in words, and I never knew. I was reading geography and civics and history, right? So this is why I learnt reading in the first place. So it's normally they say, somebody who does not read scriptures has no advantage over somebody who can't read. So even if you're illiterate, wouldn't have mattered much if you are not reading Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So this is the value of scriptures, values of Vedas. This is what we learn from this story, that the Lord comes to save the Vedas, comes to save His devotees to such an extent. There is no limit to the mercy of the Lord. Satyavrata was thinking, already so much mercy that He has come to save me in this storm. But he didn't know that for entire Ratri of Brahma, I am going to be in the association of the Lord and going to hear Sankhya Yoga, Bhakti Yoga from the Lord's mouth Himself. Such can be the good fortune of the devotees. So these were the verses we were discussing, that Lord appears to save the religion as well as save His devotees and destroy the miscreants. So I hope you loved this story from Srimad Bhagavatam. So does this inspire you to read more and more and more such stories of incarnations of the Lord? So kindly contact our book distribution department. How many people here have got Srimad Bhagavatam at home? Every single one. Hurry, hurry. Just one or two left. So Prabhuji and Mataji, those who have got Srimad Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. So how you serve Bhagavatam? By reading it every day. Okay, Lord says when you read, in Bhagavad Gita He says when you read, you are worshipping me through your mind, right? Other service to Srimad Bhagavatam is, if there is an epidemic and if you have got a vaccine and after giving it to all your family, what will you do? You will want to give it to others, right? So you are the people who can best distribute Bhagavatam to others. Why best? Because you are the direct users. So when we buy something in Amazon, we read 3-page long description and photographs from seller. That does not give us the credibility. Then we read the customer reviews. Why? Because they are the actual users. Their job is not to sell that product. Same way, when we as the students of Bhagavatam, when we approach people, this is how sweet it feels. Okay, that is where people take Bhagavatam. So everybody who takes accepts Srimad Bhagavatam and gets it installed in his home and worships it in his altar and reads it every day, you also get pious credits when you distribute Bhagavatam. And before that, Bhagavad Gita, because you start with Bhagavad Gita. Without Bhagavad Gita, you can't approach Bhagavatam. That is what Prabhupada has instructed, that Bhagavad Gita is like school Srimad Bhagavatam is like college and Chaitanya Charitamrita is like university, right? If you start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita right away, you will find it very deep and difficult to understand. So, and in Bhagavatam also we go canto by canto. We can't jump those cantos because there is a gradual way. If you approach 10th canto right away, it will be an offense because you will not be able to relate to the leelas of the Lord in the correct state of mind, right? So it is assumed that by the time you finish 9 cantos, you are already at the platform of a devotee and you can understand 10th canto. So let's close this session by making our mind firm now that not a single day will go when I will not read either Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Why we should take an oath? Why do we take an oath when we are in the temple? One is we are in front of the Lord, so Lord is also a witness and He will empower you. Second is right at the gate where this shoe stall is there, no? Oh no, right when you step out of this, there is somebody sitting. One lady, what's her name? Maya. She'll make you forget whatever you said here. So if you have taken and she specially sits there. She's not there in the, pubs and malls. She's not, anyways, taken care of by her, guard log dekh lenge. She herself comes and sits at the gate of the temple. Because these are the main targets. If you try to run away from the prison, where will the most focus of an entire police force will be? On rest of the 1,000 prisoners or you? You, right? You are the one trying to dig a tunnel or go over the wall. So right there where Divesh Prabhu just entered, that is where this lady is sitting. So while you are here, take an oath that not a single day will go when I will not, will go where I missed reading Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or Chaitanya Charitamrita or the rest of the books of Srila Prabhupada. He has written these books with all his heart, entire scriptures he has summarized to us in a very, very simple way. When we read this, not only are we serving the Lord, but also we are receiving the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So let's make sure that we don't waste our time, waste our life by leaving this world. It is said that if somebody leaves this human form is finished before finishing Srimad Bhagavatam, then the human form of life is wasted, right? So let's aim to increase the time that we want to give to scriptures day by day and plan in a way that we can soon retire and do all day do what? Chanting and reading Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So let's close. I think we are over time. Any questions, any realizations, any Prabhuji, Mataji wants to share on Matsya Avatara or the learnings from the story of Matsya Avatara, you can share. Okay, so we can conclude by chanting Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful class, student Bhagavatam class. And it's really great to know about Matsya Avatar, what you narrated so beautifully. Proving the Bhagavad Gita slogan also. So it's really, we all are very lucky to have your association and for today's class. So instead of Prabhuji's, so busy schedule, as Prabhuji is one of the senior congregation board of our Manila Center, is busy with lots of sevas and apart from this, is taking time to give the Srimad Bhagavatam class basically. So as a profession, we have Prabhuji as MBA and working for the government company, and practicing the spirituality also. As you can see, Prabhuji Mataji could have initiated also, and Prabhuji's daughter is also doing fantastic in the spirituality. So I will request all the devotees will chant on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for